really discussed any of these books together yet.
It always makes me want to read them immediately.
Hello, happy summer. We have been enjoying the sunshine and we've also been doing a lot of reading. So we thought it was about time just to do a little mini wrap up of a couple of books that we've been reading lately and kind of chat with each other about them because we haven't really discussed any of these books together yet.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I was typing up my notes for this video. I am so excited to tell not just you guys, but you.
Have you been reading any good ones? I don't even know.
I've been reading some good ones.
All
I've been
right.
reading some really bad ones.
Yeah, me too, actually. That's, more of the theme. But let's discuss. Let's get into it. Do you want to start?
Sure. Okay. I just finished this last week. It is A Song of Legends Lost by M.H. Ayinde. And I have this gorgeous special edition.
Stunning.
From my Illumicrate subscription. It was so pretty that it literally disrupted my TBR and I had to read it right away. And it was good. I'm so happy to report because look at this guy. It is not a small, quick, easy read.
No.
So it's always nice when you invest this much time in a book for it to actually hit the mark. This book is, in fact, a debut and an epic fantasy. It's set in a world called the Nine Lands. So in these 9 lands, there are a select group of nobles who can use the magic system of this world, which is called invoking. In battle, an invoker can call upon their ancestor to leave the ancestral realm, come into our world, and literally fight for them.
Cool.
Like, see the cover?
Yeah, that's
literally
cool.
Like this is the situation. It's usually the ancestor who's like a famous warrior.
Can they be killed?
They just return to the ancestral realm if they get killed.
Yeah.
So, and they can be invoked again.
Cool.
But it does rely on sort of like the life force of the invoker.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was a really interesting and unique magic system. Apparently, the author was inspired by Final Fantasy, which I totally see that. But when people who are not nobles start to invoke, and they are invoking not just ancestors, but other people and other magical entities, things start to get a little bit crazy in this plot. This is a multi-POV situation. There's like 8 POVs. It's complicated. There's a bunch of different destinations. There is a map and you need it.
Yeah, I bet.
It's definitely epic fantasy. And there were times where I was confused. In fact, there was a point when I was reading this where I kind of got frustrated and I was like, all right, I'm like 40% in and I'm still confused.
Yeah.
I kind of want to know what's going on by this point. But I hung in there and by the end, actually I'm still a little confused, but it's worth it. It was really good. My favorite POV character is Temmie. She is a lowborn girl in a family of bakers and she gains the ability to invoke. And she's like that scrappy, like a little bit sassy heroine that is just my kind of protagonist. Even though this took me a long time to read, it is worth the investment and the ending sequence was so bonkers crazy. I will absolutely be reading the next book.
All right. So it is a series. I didn't know if it was or not.
Yeah, but this is a new release, so I think I might have to wait a while.
Yeah. Okay, the first one I want to talk about is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. I mentioned in our previous video that I had just finished this and absolutely loved it. I gave it 4.5 stars. This is the same author that wrote The Shepherd We just talked about what this series is called.
I think we agreed it's Shepherd King.
The Shepherd King series, One Dark Window series. And we both really, really liked that series. And I was more than happy with this one as well. I think that Rachel Gillig is the queen of creating a gothic, dark atmosphere. She's just so immersive. I really, really love how she creates unique stories, unique magic systems. It just feels like something I've never read before. In this gothic fantasy, the main character's name is Sybil, and she was taken as a child to Islington Cathedral.
What a great goth name.
I know, to be honest with you, I listened to this, or else I would have been saying the name of the cathedral wrong the entire time. But it's definitely pronounced Ashling. So she goes to the cathedral as a child and becomes one of 6 diviners. And once she's a diviner, she no longer has a name. They just call them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and she is 6. The diviners serve the cathedral for 10 years, and they basically prophesize the future for all of the citizens of the kingdom. They are essentially drowned in this magical spring, and they have dreams of the future, which then when they are revived, they are able to tell to the people who want their futures read. As Sybil and her 5 diviner sisters near the end of their 10-year service, the new king and his knights come to the cathedral for the king to have his future read. And soon after that, the diviners start going missing one by one until Sybil is the only one left.
Oh, no.
She's basically forced to team up with the king and specifically this roguish, heretical knight named Rory to figure out what on earth is going on. She leaves the cathedral and she's basically thrown out into the world, and she has to figure out the truth behind the visions, the truth behind the gods, and figure out where these diviners have disappeared to. It's a really cool story. I did take off half a star simply because I felt like some of the scenes towards the second half of the book were either rushed or they're dragged out. Like, I felt like she had problems with pacing and problems figuring out where she needed to spend time, if you know what I mean. But that was kind of a minor issue. I really loved all the characters. I thought the 2 main characters, Sybil and Rory, are much better than Raven and Elsbeth in One Dark Window.
That's
because
good to
that was
hear.
our main issue with that series. And probably her best idea was to add the most hilarious, lovable side character ever, because it really gave you a break from all this like gothic darkness. And it was honestly everybody's favorite. This gargoyle, if you have not heard of the gargoyle in this book, yeah, everybody's obsessed with him. He is the best. And he just really was like the perfect touch for such like a dark book. Loved the gargoyle. Cannot wait for the second.
Ooh, I really want to
good.
read this.
I want to get like the special edition, but I can't find it anymore.
Oh, it's going to be one of those hard to find.
Yeah. Also recommend on audio. I thought the audio was really good.
Cool. All right. Next up, I also read Silver Elite by Dani Francis. This was a Book of the Month pick, and it was getting a lot of buzz because supposedly Dani Francis is a pen name for a well-known author from a different genre. So there's been a lot of speculation, and I think it gave this book a lot of marketing hype. It even came to me late because so many people were ordering this from Book of the Month.
Somebody did their job, man.
Yeah, that really caught my attention.
Yeah.
I feel like they're learning from Fourth Wing.
I was about to say, yeah, very Fourth Wing-esque. Yeah.
And I don't begrudge anyone a marketing strategy, but this is bad. I gave it 1.5 stars.
That's harsh. She like never does that.
What is it though? It's a spicy dystopian romance. It's not good. The main character's name is Wren Darlington. I don't think it's her real name, but
yeah, it's a pen name.
it's her pen name. And Wren has magical abilities that are like outlawed by the government. They are mental abilities like telepathy, projection, and mind reading.
Okay.
Mind reading is different. Yeah, mind reading is different than telepathy.
Dunno.
You know? Sure. So she's got these cool mental powers that make her an enemy of the state, and then she gets forced to join the army in essentially a military academy setting. So most of this book is straight up enemies to lovers, military academy situation. And Wren goes from being this sassy motorcycle riding, rifle wielding, horse riding rancher.
What?
Yeah, she's a rancher in the beginning, to basically being undercover in the army that she's been forced to join.
Okay.
But she can't let anyone know she has magic powers. She's got to be like, keep that under wraps.
Yeah. Okay.
And of course, the big baddie general's son is
the love interest.
a little hot piece of you-know-what.
Yeah.
By the way, his name is Cross.
The name Cross is shocking to me.
And he's also the captain of the military academy.
Of course he is.
If you can believe that. Part of the issue for me is that dystopian fiction in general is known for its like thought-provoking, sometimes disturbing commentary on the state of actual current affairs. And there's none of this going on in here. It's not real thoughtful. It just sort of feels like a romantasy book with guns in it and motorcycles.
Yeah.
Most of it just really didn't make sense. Like, if she's under suspicion, why would she be forced into the highest level of their military training?
Yeah.
And within months, she's given access to like state secrets and things. But the whole premise is that they forced her to join against her will because they don't trust her.
Yeah, that doesn't really add up, does it?
I was a bit like, okay.
Yeah.
And then there was a whole like hot for teacher element with Cross. I gave it a little half star because I did think the magic was kind of interesting. There was an element where people with these magical abilities, their veins glow silver when they use the magic.
That's cool.
So you had to be sneaky and wear long sleeves and stuff. Although I was a little bit like, there's veins in like your neck.
Everywhere. Yeah. Okay.
But sure. If you wear long sleeves, no one can know that you have magic. And for plot armor reasons, Ren's veins don't glow silver like everybody else's.
Of course not. All right. Probably skip that one then.
Yep.
Sorry. I think I recommended that one.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, I also read a book that I think has been getting a lot of buzz, and that is Our Infinite Fates by Laura Steven. This is getting buzz because it is often being compared to The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by
that's so popular.
Schwab. Yeah, everybody loved that book. I read and personally did not like it as much.
Yeah, you thought it was just okay, right?
I found it just a little boring, if I'm honest, but I don't normally admit to that because it's such a beloved book. And this has a very similar premise to Addie LaRue, and I will say that I am really compelled by this premise. That's why I picked this book up, even though I didn't like Addie LaRue. It's because this idea of like two souls going through time, like drawn to each other over and over. It's so romantic. It's so interesting. I just had to give this a try. This is essentially a love story about two souls who keep finding each other over and over in every lifetime. But the kicker is they kill each other, or one of them kills the other right before they turn 18 every single lifetime.
So it's like a Zelda and Ganondorf
situation. It's told in alternating chapters. So there'll be a chapter with a snippet from one of their past lives, and then it will go to their present life. And in this present life, they have decided to finally try to break this cycle, figure out what's going on, and maybe live past the age of 18.
Imagine never getting past 18.
And the thing is, they remember. So by the time they turn like 6 or 7, they remember that they're not going to make it past 18 because they remember all their past lives.
Yeah,
Isn't
that doesn't
wild?
seem fun.
No. It doesn't really make sense, too, which is kind of half of the problem.
Okay, you got to sort of suspend your disbelief.
Yeah, you just go with it. But honestly, you can't because it is kind of flat. The first few chapters of the snippets of their past lives were very interesting. They are souls. They have different genders. They have different races, ethnicities. There's no, it's not just a male-female type situation. They can be reincarnated as anything. So it was really cool to see, at first, all of these different snippets of these past lives. But they're very short. And they're not deep enough for you to ever feel the connection between the characters. I didn't think that it really added a lot to their relationship overall. And probably by midway in the book, they just started to feel like filler, like a way for the author to drag out the present day storyline and the present day mystery of them trying to figure out what this cycle is all about. I really didn't think it was done as well as it should have been. And the present day story also just couldn't hold your attention. Not a lot actually happened. So overall, I was just wanting more the whole time. And by the time I did finally get to the twist towards the end, it was bad. You expect it to be something really beautiful and surpass all of whatever. And I genuinely just thought it was kind of silly. It also takes a very fantasy turn, which is not a bad thing. It was just a little bit jarring. I think this is almost kind of like fantasy realism, if that is a genre, because it does take a fantasy turn, but it is also set very much in the real world. So I don't really know where that stands, but I did find it like hard to kind of grasp that late in the story. But again, I do really love the concept. I love the idea of these two souls intertwined, love forever, whatever. But I did give this 2.5 stars.
Love forever, whatever. Okay, next up, I got a cutie one. A Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers. This is a 2-in-1 book here. It's the first book, A Psalm for the Wild Built, and also the sequel, which is A Prayer for the Crown Shy.
Love these names. I love the titles.
Right?
Yeah.
And I really like this cover.
Me too.
I like the original cover of just... Actually, no, I don't. What am I? I'm lying.
I like it.
Meh.
I like it.
But I do like cut and paste.
Better. She has a lot of different covers. Maybe it's because she self-published or something first. I don't know. I might be making that up, but yeah. Anyway.
It does seem like there are several covers, but I like this one, and I like that it has both of the novellas. And you can see this has 2 books in it. Yeah. So they're little short and sweetie guys. Mm-hmm. So this is a cozy sci-fi set in like a future society on a moon. I don't remember the name of the moon. In which robots all gained sentience and abandoned humanity. They like left the factories en masse and went out into the wilderness to start their own society and be free of humans. And in the least believable part of this story, the humans apparently just let that happen.
Allowed it, yeah.
And this book is set centuries later. Our main character, Dex, is a tea monk. A tea monk is a monk who you can come to and vent all of your problems to them, or just chat.
Like give them the tea?
Oh my gosh.
Is that real?
I guess so, yeah. They're like a therapist.
Okay. But what, like
I
sacred?
wonder... But yeah.
Okay.
And then they give you a special tea for your circumstance.
Oh, cool.
They like mix you a little tea that's like just what you need.
I love this.
I know, right? So our tea monk Dex is having sort of a midlife crisis and decides to go out into the wilderness themselves, where they encounter a robot called Mosscap.
But robots aren't supposed to be there?
Right. No one's seen a robot.
Okay.
So this is a big deal.
Yeah.
And at first, Dex is a bit
confused.
Yeah. Mosscap volunteered amongst all of the robots to go check on humanity.
Okay.
And Mosscap is trying to figure out what humans need. What humans need. For some reason, I find that hard to say.
Yeah.
What humans need, which is obviously a very open-ended question. And this book is super philosophical.
She's so good at that.
Oh my gosh. It got me. And I listened to this mostly on audiobook, mostly in the middle of the night, feeding my baby. And I am noticing books are hitting me different at 4 a.m. in the dark with the life I created in my lap. Mm-hmm. And the book is asking, what is the point of life? Mm-hmm. Does there even need to be a point?
She's so good at that. I really want to read this now.
The last chapter in particular was so beautiful that I reread it. Oh. It really just got to me. I will say it's a little bit of a slow, meandering sort of story. It really didn't even super grab me until that ending. I actually personally was kind of annoyed by Mosscap, but I think that's an unpopular opinion. So, you know what it is? There's a lot of focus on nature in this book. There's a lot of descriptions of wildlife and flora and bugs.
Oh, Lena can't do bugs. No.
I don't feel any compassion or empathy for bugs. If I had a genie wish, I would eradicate all bugs and destroy our ecosystem. It lost a star for that.
Fair enough.
It's good, though, and short and sweet.
Switching gears, I also read Story of My Life by Lucy Score. This is my first Lucy Score book. She is, I guess, a romance author, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. My friend actually suggested I read this because she was trying to figure out my reading taste. And she thought hearing what I thought about this book would help her decipher my reading taste. I don't actually think that it
came to pass.
Yeah, I don't think it succeeded in that. But I'm glad I've read it because I have been very curious about her books and just dragging my feet to try them because they all sound so dumb. This one was described as Schitt's Creek, the show, meets Gilmore Girls, which I thought was very intriguing. And I will say, I do think it lived up to that, but I also don't think it gave it any favors or whatever. Oh. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't very helpful. It was almost a bit too ridiculous. The story is about Hazel. who is a romance author. She's in a rut as her divorce has been finalized. And can I just say, as a brief aside, I'm so sick of reading romance books about authors. I'm so tired of it. I know that that's obviously what's probably easiest and most relatable.
They're writing what they know.
But how many romance books are there about authors? I'm sick of it. On a whim, Hazel decides to buy a quaint fixer-upper in a little small town of Story, Pennsylvania. Oh yeah, and it's sight unseen. She does it like online at night. She just buys this house.
Always a good plan.
Yeah. And then takes her best friend, who also happens to be her agent, with her and essentially convinces her best friend to move to Story, Pennsylvania with little to no notice. That really bothered me the whole book. I was like, how is this girl doing this? But they do. They move to Story, Pennsylvania. And the town does not welcome them with open arms. There are a series of very weird, unfortunate events that occur that just make things very awkward. It is supposed to be reminiscent of Schitt's Creek, I'm sure, but it was just kind of ridiculous to me. So the town does not like her, and neither does the sexy, grumpy contractor named Campbell.
Campbell. Like the soup.
Yeah, I found his name very annoying. Yes.
What male main character good names are there? I feel like I never hear us say, oh, it's such a great name for a male love interest.
It depends on the person, because like I like all of Emily Henry's names for her characters. I don't even like the name Gus, which we've talked about, but it fits for that character. So I think it just depends on the character. And Campbell was a hard one to get on board with.
We just happen to have had a string of difficult ones.
Yeah. What I did like was Campbell's family and reading about their family dynamics. But Campbell himself was way too controlling, 100% needed therapy, like could not get on board with any of the decisions he made for the two of them. Hazel was a pushover, and the town was just over the top. Like, it was just too silly for me. I somehow still did give this 3 stars because I actually think that Lucy's score set up a really good sequel. Like, I'm actually really interested in where she will go with, like, the next couple in this little series.
Yeah.
But overall, like, it didn't really make me want to go read all the rest of Lucy Score's books.
Yeah, that's fair.
It was also incredibly long, like way too long for a romance book. She dragged this out.
I feel like a romance
like 450 pages is just too much for this.
Yeah,
not a lot happened. Yeah.
Okay, and I had to give you my review of one of my most anticipated reads of the year, which was Death of the Author by Nnedi Okorafor. And of course, this is the absolutely gorgeous signed first edition that Erin got for me in London. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You absolutely nailed it on this gift. I'm obsessed.
It's so pretty.
I mean, look at This book is basically a deep dive into its main character, Zelu. She's a disabled Nigerian-American writer, and she is incredibly complex and realistic, which is good because most of the book is just a focus on her life and her journey. At the beginning of the book, she's in a very low place. Her novel has been rejected again. She gets fired from her job and she's feeling kind of like the black sheep of her family. And at this low point, she moves back in with her parents, which I get it. We've all been there. Always humbling. Am I right? And while living there, she writes a science fiction novel called Rusted Robots. The novel is an instant success and propels her into fame and stardom and riches and changes her life forever. Chapters of her book, which is called Rusted Robots, are interspersed with the chapters about Zelu and her life.
Oh.
Right. So you're sort of reading her book
while you're reading her about her.
Mm-hmm.
That's fascinating.
It is interesting. And you do start to pick out themes in Rusted Robots, and you can definitely see where they came from in her life. If anything, I wish this book had more of the sci-fi book.
Interesting. Yeah.
If it had been more 50-50, this would have been a 5-star read for me. As it is my least favorite Nnedi Okorafor book, which is to say it's amazing. It's 4 stars, but those 4 stars are like better than anybody else's 4 stars.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Like
high bar. Yeah.
It did make me cry. The scenes with her family just absolutely ripped me apart. there were some very emotional scenes with her family. And I totally related when she would be explaining all of her siblings and all of her siblings' spouses and then their kids and their cats. And, as members of a big family ourselves, I was like, yeah, I get it, girl. It's a lot. Absolutely worth a read. I don't think that it's indicative of her other work, though. So if you're expecting something like the other books she's written, this is a bit of a departure, but I think it was one of those like soul stories that she needed to tell.
To just get out. Yeah. Okay, cool. And the last one that we'll talk about in this little mini wrap-up is Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Wang. This is the same author who wrote The Sword of Kaigen, which is one of Elena's favorites. So I was really excited. This is a standalone fantasy novel. And I will say that we are loving that Emma Wang is doing standalone fantasy.
Yes, we need more of that.
So refreshing. And she does a great job with her world building. She has fantastic magic systems. She packs a big punch in just one book.
Yeah, everyone seems to want to write these 5 to 7 book series. And there's nothing wrong with that from time to time. But wow, it's impressive and nice when it's just wrapped up in one book.
And it's so nice to get a sense of the world in one book. This book is set in a large city with a very intense magical boundary that keeps it safe from the outside world that is plagued by this malevolent thing called the Blight, which essentially disintegrates people. Our main character is Siona. She is a brilliant young mage, and she becomes the first woman to be accepted into the highest tier of magehood in the city, which is run through the city's university system. So yay, Siona. Unfortunately, she faces pretty heavy sexism immediately. Instead of getting just a normal student as her assistant, they assign her the janitor, Tommel, to be her assistant.
Right. I remember I was hoping it was a Goodwill Hunting situation.
Oh, yeah. And it's not. However, Tommel is a refugee of the city, and he has some knowledge that proves pretty interesting. Together, him and Siona are able to start uncovering all of the mysteries around the city and the magic system, and things just absolutely blow up from there. This is a wild ride, and it started off incredibly strong. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I think this book has the most compelling initial hook I've ever seen in a book. I was crying by page 11, which has literally never happened.
You texted me that, and I was like,
shocked. Yeah, although I will say I didn't think it kind of held that caliber for the entirety of the book, which was kind of a shame. Yeah. Wang explored some really heavy themes, and there was actually some really interesting ethical commentary in this book, but I did feel like the premise was really overblown and shoved down your throat. The reveals felt really obvious too, which really lessened the book's impact. But perhaps worst of all, Siona was just a really unlikable main character. And I have a very hard time when I don't like the main character. They don't have to be goody two-shoes, they don't have to be perfect, but they do have to have some qualities that make you like them. And she, in the first half of this book, was absolutely insufferable. Then her character arc was so jarring. In the second half of the book, she was just totally unbelievable. I didn't understand how she got from A to B so quickly. And by the end, I didn't even care. This is also a dual POV book, which I normally love. But Tommel was not developed enough as a character for me to be very compelled by his side of the story. It kind of didn't make the dual narrative work. I don't know if this is, again, because it's a standalone, but I think more just the way that she focused so much on the magic system and the world and maybe a little less on the characters, more about like the overarching themes of the book instead of these details. And maybe that's just personal preference because I think a lot of people absolutely love this book. But for me, it was good but slightly underwhelming.
Fair enough. I need to read this and I need you to read Sword of Kaigen.
Okay, so that wraps up our wrap-up.
Yeah.
We still have some summer things to do. It's going to be a beautiful week. We're hoping to hit up the farmer's market.
We have to hit up the farmer's market.
Maybe go for a walk, get some reading in the sun, and we will take you along with us.
Yeah. And then at the end, maybe we'll let you know what's still on our TBR for summer.
Yeah. All right. Let's go.
That's a gorgeous one. I love that.
So I came here for lettuce, but it looks like they actually don't have any. Maybe it's too late in the summer for it.
I don't see it anywhere.
So instead, Elena's got some muffins, some pepperoni rolls, just some baked goods. Might grab some peaches because they looked incredible.
Yeah, they do look good.
But it is so hot, we're like dying, so we'll have to wrap it up soon. We just had the most epic summer thunderstorm. The thunder has been intense, like so intense.
Yeah.
It's wild.
There have been tons of storms. I've lost power like twice just this week.
I will say that like I have previously been on record saying that I love summer thunderstorms, and it is true, I do. But if I lost power, I'd probably be thinking differently.
Well, I have a charged Kindle, so.
That's true. Every time you text me and say you lost power, I immediately plug in my phone. I'm like, if it goes out, I'm going to have it as charged as I can.
I had literally just gone out to my car in the middle of the night to charge my phone on the car charger. And just as I turned on the car, the lights came back on.
It rewarded you for your efforts. Okay, so we're just going to do a really quick Spitfire type whatever of showing you what we are currently reading and then what is like most immediate on our TBRs, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
I don't know which of these I'm going to read next, but these are the things that are like hooking me right now.
Okay. But what are you currently reading?
Okay, but right now I'm actually reading something that's so good.
Okay, what is it?
The Book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence. I get the hype.
I'm shocked. Yeah, I'm glad.
It has me like thinking about it when I'm driving, you know?
Yeah.
Really, really good. If you like magical libraries, labyrinthian libraries, whoo!
I am currently reading Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And guess what? I really like it. We are on a sci-fi kick, and this is essentially a sci-fi book. I mean, she's an astronaut. And so I'm actually really liking it. I'm also doing audio because it's our favorite Julia Whalen. Yeah, so far so good with this. Probably
Amazing.
My favorite of hers so far.
Yeah, finally we found a Taylor Jenkins Reid that you like.
Yeah.
Okay, I've talked about this so many times. You guys are going to be like, how have you not read it yet?
Yeah.
It's Murderbot. I need to read Murderbot. The show is out, coming.
I am also reading The Shadow of What Was Lost by James Islington. I cannot remember that title for the life of me. I Google it all the time and I can't remember it. Yes. I don't know why, because I have recently picked up this beautiful cover edition of The Will of the Many, but
you need to read this.
Well,
she loves Red Rising.
I know. Well, The Shadow of What Was Lost was on Kindle Unlimited, and I was in the UK, and I was like, maybe I'll read this series first and then dive into this. It's taking me a while to get through, if I'm being honest. And I feel like the writing is kind of YA, but it is an okay fantasy book.
I would say this is like
better,
a little YA, but
really,
like it's more YA than Red Rising.
I feel like it's YA in the way he writes.
Yeah, that's what I mean too.
Yeah, okay.
But I actually think the content is not YA.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Do you know what I mean?
I know. I wonder if I'll finish the series
still
first,
very
or
much
should I
worth
just
it.
skip to that?
I don't know. I've never read that series.
Well, okay. I'm like 75% of the way through. It's long. It's like 600 pages, which is hard.
Oh, well, then you got to commit.
Yeah, I know. But, you know, I'm getting there.
Okay, I also have had my eye on this from Book of the Month, Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab.
You've not done a Schwab book yet, have you?
I feel like I did. Did I really not?
I don't think you have.
I guess I haven't.
And this is wild to start here, but
it's a vampire book.
I know. I think you'll like it. And I actually want to read it. I don't know. Yeah.
I think I'll like it.
Very next on my list is Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaghy. Everybody is talking about this. This is like a thriller, which is not usually my cup of tea, but there's something very compelling about the like they're on an island, mystery, whodunit type thing. And I got it at the library, which I was really stoked about. So
yeah,
I'm gonna
support
read
your
it fast.
local library.
Yeah.
The cover makes it look like kind of a smart thriller to me.
It feels like it's kind of getting overdone by book talk, but I'm just like not listening to that.
Yep, block it out.
Yeah.
This is my latest Illumicrate book. It is
These are
A
so
Treachery of
pretty.
Swans. How pretty is that?
I'm so annoyed by how much I like all of these books.
It always makes me
They're
want
so
to read them
pretty.
immediately because
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, but look at it.
I've never even heard of this.
It's a sapphic fantasy, and it sounds like just a beautiful, like very classic fantasy setup,
Yeah.
but with a sapphic twist. And the fate of the kingdom depends on her making the right choice.
Love it.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, I also got this at the library. The Sirens by Amelia Hart. Elena read Wayward by the same author and struggled with it. But I don't know, this looks really compelling. Perfect for this time of year. Like it's like a siren song type situation. The cover's got sea creatures all over it. And I didn't read Wayward, so maybe I'll go in with no preconceived notions and really like it.
Yeah, you should read that when we go to the beach.
Actually, that's a great idea. Yeah.
Okay, lastly, for me, right as I was walking out of the house today, a very exciting package arrived. Yeah, baby.
Does everybody know what that means? And I just don't.
Probably. I mean,
It does look very pretty.
oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So this is yet another secret project from Brandon Sanderson. I backed the Kickstarter, I don't know, like 2 years ago, it feels like. And here it is in my hands with the character pin, the bookmark, and the stunning hardback edition of Isles of the Emberdark.
Cool.
This man pumps out books. It's crazy.
It is wild. Like something's wrong.
Or very, very
Or
right.
very, very right. Yeah.
Obviously, I'll be reading that soon.
And those are the books on our immediate TBR. Very exciting.
Yeah, we'll definitely report back on at least some of these.
Let us know which ones you guys have read or are reading, what we should prioritize, whatever. Let us know.
Please give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you have not already.
Yes, please. And until our next video, we'll see you later.
See you soon.
I keep doing this. I did that in the last one and I was
Finger
like,
guns.
oh, God, you gotta stop.